If by sustainable development we mean development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs, then we may rightly say that trade negotiations and trade agreements in their current forms are not sustainable to the economic and social development of countries in the South. As we may know, most countries in the South are into trade negotiations with countries in the North. For example, the economic partnership agreements between the EU and ACP countries have proven to be disastrous and could be disastrous to the development priorities and regional integration processes of some of these countries in the South. These are agreements, these are negotiations put in place, set up by humans. They are not natural phenomena, which means that if they do not meet development priorities, if they do not meet regional integration processes, if they aim at destroying agricultural services, human rights, if they aim at putting into difficulties food security and enhancing poverty, as we have already been experiencing, because most countries have been asked and pressurized by some of the countries in the North to open up their markets to products and services from countries in the North. In some countries, they have been asked to liberalize for up to 80%. And we all know that most countries in Africa depend on their custom duties for the development of their economy. But it is rather unfortunate that trade agreements push for the lowering of custom tariffs. Cameroon, for example, that has ratified this agreement, is already experiencing, in less than 4 months of implementation of its economic partnership agreement, heavy losses at the level of the port. So we are saying that if trade agreements were put in line with SDGs, then it is rather unfortunate that SDGs in some parts of countries in the South will not be attained. When we talk about poverty reduction, trade agreements actually enhance poverty. Poor local farmers who are not capable of producing and meeting up with competition of products that are subsidized in countries of the North. Food security being compromised because we no longer can produce our own food in the South, importing massively from countries in the North, killing our infant industries because of unfair competition. So, at this point, permit me say that these trade agreements should be reviewed or even reversed because, like I said, these are all human policies and not natural phenomenon. Trade agreements should be able to take into consideration development priorities of countries in the South. And if this is not the case, then we can again say that these trade agreements are not sustainable for the development of our countries and should be stopped.